Hello and welcome back to TF1C, the Formula 1 chat. We're here after the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. F1 Circus headed to Azerbaijan, headed to Baku, and we're just going to review it.
Yeah.
Obviously the F2 vid went out this morning, so if you're into the Junior Series, make sure to check that out. But yeah, here now discussing the Formula 1. Shall we start with qualifying then? And then obviously we'll get into the race and then look through the championship order and discuss everything as a whole. So qualifying, we had
Q1. We saw Lance Stroll teach us why he shouldn't be in Formula
twice. He crashed into a wall, which is amusing.
Brought out the red flag, which then meant it was absolute chaos at the end. With only 2 minutes to go, people missing out on the flag, likes of Mick Schumacher and Kevin Magnussen. First time both Hasses have been knocked out in Q1 this season.
I don't know really. The Haas looked to be really quick, but then recently, not really in the points paying positions. I think the fact that Mick didn't capitalise on their early kind of pace has left them a little bit short now. And I don't know. I still think they've got the pace to go for points sometimes. And I think the amount of unreliability amongst loads of different teams this year does mean that points are much more obtainable, I think.
Yeah.
And the fact that track-to-track basis, there seems to be a wider margin. Like in seasons gone by, last season, it'd be Merc and Red Bull up front no matter what. Yeah. And then track basis, sometimes it would change, but it'd usually be the same order every time. Yeah. And unless there was a collision, the same people would get points. But now, it looks like, you can go to one track. I mean, take this weekend in Azerbaijan, for example, where I think the Alpine and Red Bull powertrains are probably the strongest right now, and their cars dominated.
Yeah,
and you look at...
We'll talk about powertrains.
Yeah, powertrains are a big
but one
thing this
Ferrari
weekend.
team to know into Q2. Again, first time this season that both Alfa Romeos had been knocked out in Q2. Valtteri Bottas had a really bad weekend. And I'm somewhat surprised, because we sat here in the preview and said he's been really consistent, he's had a great season. But I don't know, it just didn't...
I don't really think about him this weekend. He just wasn't there. Genuinely.
Only other surprise, obviously McLaren, but both McLarens out in Q2 as well.
Wasn't their weekend.
Yeah.
But I mean, they really struggling on the straights. The Mercs.
Definitely. Merc really struggled. AlphaTauri had a great weekend. I mean, they've qualified in a 6-8 and got an even better race result. Vettel dragging that to say Stroll is putting it in the wall and getting knocked out in P19. Vettel dragging it all the way up to P9 is exceptional.
I mean, he's showing why, despite the media constantly trying to bombard him with, he should retire, he's terrible, he needs to go. He's showing again and again why he deserves to be in Formula 1.
Oh, yeah. Vettel's a fantastic driver.
Which, I think demonstrates the difference between a Vettel and a Daniel Ricciardo. We'll get into Ricciardo later, because, McLaren, quite the topic to discuss this week.
Back at the front of the field, though, Leclerc took pole from Perez, from Verstappen, from Sainz, and to us, I thought it was very much advantage Ferrari.
I'll be honest, I didn't. I think Leclerc's just really, really good at hooking up the laps.
I mean, that second sector that he put in on his last lap was phenomenal. Yeah,
Ferrari in terms of one lap pace, I think just about got the edge over Red Bull at the moment. Yeah. They seem to just be able to turn it up for a lap, and
especially Max, because Max is usually that man who can get it dialed in for one lap. And not great.
I think Ferrari have obviously done a lot of work going into this season, and their drivers are used to the car and how the car's going to react to different situations. I think basically they're very experienced in that, because obviously they've been testing it and building that car for so long now.
Yes.
So I think that does give them a little bit of an advantage, I think, the drivers.
But it was a very split up grid, a few pit out positions, and we're in for an exciting race. And, Ferrari engine...
Should we start with the start of the race then?
Yeah.
So Sergio Perez bowled on the brakes into turn one, was a brilliant move. Leclerc lock up, didn't help
his engineer's radio message was literally elbows out into turn one, nothing to lose.
Perez, and then Leclerc locked up, ran wide. Verstappen almost got him, didn't quite, which would have had a huge impact on the race, but didn't quite. Well, obviously not in the long run, but in the short.
No lap one incidents apart from Nicholas Latifi.
Yeah, Latifi
that was a starting grid infringement.
It's quite a weird incident, but also I feel for him because it's not his fault, and that would have put him at least he wouldn't have been last in the classified drivers.
Yeah.
But not a bad weekend. I think he'll take a P16.
15 in the end.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Did he get
also another DNF?
Yeah.
So then we're doing the right races going well, and then Sainz was the first one, wasn't it? He had gearbox issues earlier in the race, and then it was a
brake by wire failure going into turn
4.
Was it 4? Yeah. It's 4. Went down the escape road. BSC called out, which had little to no impact on the race. Apart from, in fact, it did. I forgot what happened to that BSC. Everyone came into the pits apart from the Red Bulls, and that left me kind of confused as to why they'd done it. But equally, with 42 laps on the clock still,
there's no.
It was going to be. I think Ferrari were gambling then on a safety car.
Definitely,
if not, they would have been in big trouble. I mean, it didn't matter in the end.
No.
Because not too long after that, Leclerc up in smoke.
Yeah, and that levels out Max and Leclerc at 2
DNFs. But if Ferrari, that's now anywhere where there's a bit of heat, big problem. Monaco's alright, not really many straights for them to be a problem. Spain, I mean, and then Baku now. Heat and straight seem to be their kryptonite, and then next up Canada. You got 2 straights back to back that are quite long.
And heat.
And it's going to be hot, I imagine. It could be snowing, to be fair. Who knows? It's a roll of the dice.
Ferrari DNF, and at this point...
And then after that, Britain, which is just straights. And then long corners.
And hot.
We're sitting there like a struggle. So, if Ferrari's problems aren't fixed in the next 3 weeks, I think they could have a tough
that's their problem.
run on their hands.
That is their problem. Canada is this coming weekend. They've only got like 3 days.
I think they'll be fine in Canada because I don't think it's I don't imagine it'll be too hot, and there's only 2 long straights back to back. They're not like Baku length straight.
No.
Going into another short straight onto another long straight.
So these DNFs happened. Both Sainz and Leclerc out of the race, and everyone started to fear for the other Ferrari engine teams.
And they were right to fear. I feel so bad for Zhou and Magnussen. Because he had the pace all weekend. He was like 5th in Q1, wasn't he?
Yeah, and then when he retired, sadly, he retired. He retired from P9.
He was running in the points, yeah. I mean,
gutted for him. Absolutely gutted for him.
Yeah, he's had such bad luck this season. I really feel for Zhou, because he's proven that he is Formula 1 quality. He's good enough to mix it. He's got the pace. He's a very good overtaker. But too many times now that Alfa Romeo has failed him, and I really feel for Zhou Guanyu, because I genuinely think he's one of the best rookies we've seen since like Leclerc and Max and co. Because like last year, Nikita and Mick, shit show. The year before that we had Latifi. Yuki was last year. He struggled last season, but this season's been better. But he really struggled last season. The year before that we only had Latifi. And he's demonstrated he's not Formula 1 quality. The year before that, we had...
Lando Gasly.
Not Gasly, no. Gasly was in the Red Bull in 2019, wasn't he? I'm trying to remember. I feel like that was Leclerc. No. So 2020 was Latifi was the rookie. 2019 would have been Russell.
Yeah, Russell.
George Russell.
And then 2018 was Leclerc.
Russell and Albon.
Yeah, yes.
Maybe. Something like that. Anyway.
Yeah, we've got it. And
yes, because it was Albon did the first half of the season with Toro Rosso and then immediately got the jump up to Red Bull.
And then Gasly went back down, didn't he?
Yeah, Gasly went down. Okay. And then it was Albon's 1 year.
That was 2018, Belgium.
No, 2019.
Yeah, 2019.
Then 2020 was the year that Hamilton dominated and Albon was naff.
That was Gasly's.
And then he got replaced at the end of the year for Perez.
Years that Gasly's ever been in.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember now. All the stuff's coming back.
So we saw Sainz out, we saw Leclerc out, we saw Zhou Guanyu out. Wasn't the last Ferrari-powered car to go out. Kevin Magnussen also with a reliability problem.
Yeah.
They are all related, by the way, so they are definitely Ferrari problem.
Yeah, I mean, there was a similar plume of smoke. Yeah. Sainz was the only one that didn't have that, I believe, for his, obviously the brake-by-wire failed, but also gearbox issues, which is another concern. So Ferrari didn't already have enough problems with the car smoking. Yeah. Now they also have a problem with the gearbox, but I think that could just be wear. Because I don't know if they'll change parts.
Mileage was high on that.
Yeah, well, it depends. If they changed after 6 races, then that's a bit of a big bit of trouble there. Then... trying to think what else happened in the race.
Not much. No
well,
bits of contact. We saw, although we did see a cool 180 spin from Vettel.
Yeah.
He went down the escape road.
That happened, and then of course Max on Perez.
That was easy.
People were like, "Oh, team orders." Wasn't. Perez's tyres were shot because he pushed hard
even
in
if
the
Red
race.
Bull hadn't told Perez no fighting, Max would have still got past by
I also don't think they want to fight.
No.
Red Bull, as much as people can go, "Oh, Perez is in the championship fight, he shouldn't be neglected." Perez knows his role at Red Bull.
Yeah.
He is the second driver.
We'll start from the bottom of the top 10 and we'll make our way up. Speaking of team drivers who don't really know their roles at their team, McLaren was a team orders shit show.
I was. I'll be honest. I love Lando Norris, but I cannot understand what he was whining about today.
So first, Ricciardo's behind Lando. Ricciardo's quicker, but he's held
whole position. Yeah.
Then Ricciardo gets ahead of Lando for he just did that just through the pit stops.
Yeah.
Then
because Lando had no pace.
Yeah, and then Ricciardo doesn't get past. Lando then wants to go past. He's then told to hold position for just, there's no really need to swap them round. No.
It would be completely unfair on Ricciardo, considering that Lando was ahead. It was then Lando's lack of any pace that cost him.
I mean, from a McLaren point of view, I'm happy that we got a double points finish in a track that we knew we were going to struggle at, because straight line is not McLaren's.
It's a better weekend for Ricciardo, but the fact that he was on fresh mediums and had Alonso 6 seconds up the road or something.
He finished 3.7 seconds behind Alonso.
He was 6 seconds away from him when he came out of the pits on fresh mediums. Yeah. I think it's criminal that he didn't get the move. I know he closed up to within almost a second and then fell back after. It's not like he just never caught up. But yeah. Merc then. So should we just go through the whole grid?
Okay,
yeah. So Red Bull
dominant.
Just nothing wrong. They seem to be absolutely nailing it.
That shows
even down to the point of calm down, Max. Absolutely no need to bollock it round anymore.
Max and GP were debating what lap times Max should be aiming for.
Yeah.
Because GP wants Max to do 1:47.5.
Yeah.
Max wanted to be closer to 1:47.0. GP just didn't really care.
Yeah, sure, whatever, mate. Just don't set the tyres on fire.
When Ferrari aren't there, no one can compete with Red Bull.
No, I don't. I think today, even if Ferrari were there, I don't think they'd be competing with Red Bull.
Speed of the Red Bulls. I mean, they were Max was 15 kilometres quicker in a straight line than Leclerc was in the opening laps. Red Bull 1-2, Verstappen, Perez, Russell, the man who does nothing all race and gets good results.
Absolutely stunning, isn't he?
Genuinely, starts P5, Leclerc and Sainz retire, gets a P3. I mean, I can't have a go at him. He's there. He's in the right place at the right time. He's shown good pace.
It's been such a strange season for George Russell, because I feel like I haven't seen him make an overtake, and yet he's fourth in the championship. He's close to Leclerc now. Like I was stunned by this, but he is now within 17 points of Charles Leclerc.
I mean, that is very surprising. That does surprise me.
And he's got a 16-point gap back to Carlos Sainz. I know Sainz has had problems, but equally Spain spun in the gravel, lost a load of time and positions. Australia, Imola. Just it's a multitude of mistakes now, and I think that'll probably be a video in the summer. Carlos Sainz, misfortune or mistakes ? When we go through and just review seasons in the summer when there's no racing.
It's a good result for Merc 3-4, and then the two standout performers for me this weekend: Pierre Gasly in P5. Great race from him. Yeah. Solid result for
very strong. I was kind of his pace came up. Well, I think it is the Red Bull power unit. Yeah. Evidently, he just flew on a straight. I mean, Yuki would have been up there in P6 as well if it wasn't for his rear wing cracking. And then bloke ran out there with gaffer tape. Therefore, a guy came running down the pit lane to tell him they couldn't do that, but Yuki had already left. So
and he's not going to run up to the car, is he?
You can't part this.
Sebastian Vettel P6 again. He is dragging that Aston Martin places it definitely shouldn't be.
Especially when you consider, I think their car's slower than the McLaren, or maybe Stroll is so shit.
Forgot to mention is that Stroll retired because the mechanics saw strange oscillations. So they.
I swear that's something I've done in maths. Oscillations.
Yeah, no, it's to do with waves.
Probably science then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wave oscillations, I don't quite know how they work, but clearly they're not good.
No, probably not.
A bit like vibrations.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing it's just loads of strange vibrations. I've gone, probably shouldn't drive that car anymore.
But yeah, Vettel showing his quality.
Yeah.
I don't know where that Aston Martin is in terms of pace, because I think it's hard to judge when Stroll isn't the best.
We saw it. If he hadn't gone off down the escape road, he'd have got P4 today.
Probably.
And that would have been a fantastic drive, because he was only 13 seconds off Hamilton in the end. Do you think the time he went down the escape road, spun it
Hamilton
round,
got past, and then he was in traffic then for Seb, while Hamilton got past Ocon quite quickly.
Hamilton, that Mercedes in a straight line, it does not go. So
no, and if Vettel has Hamilton right behind him, he'd probably push harder than he did at the end when he was in no man's land. Yeah. Then Alonso, another man with, well, not as much to prove as Seb. Seb's had his kind of talent put under a magnifying glass due to... I guess you could call it... I wouldn't call it underperformance, though. I'd say he's outperforming the car, if anything. That car is a shitbox. But the Aston Martin is disgraceful. And then Alonso... I mean, the Alpine looks rapid. I genuinely think they could be with a shout of a really good finish to this season. They are now up into 5th in the Constructors.
I do think, in terms of pace, they have the second quickest engine.
Yeah.
Maybe
I think Ferrari could be second, but their reliability is so bad that it doesn't really matter what kind of pace they have.
Overall, I'd probably say...
I'd say they've got the second best, probably. And it sounds mental to say that Merc have got the worst performing, but when you look at the stats, that is what it is. But their reliability has been the best. Not a single Merc retirement, I believe, for reliability. That's related to the engine.
Aston, because they have weird oscillations. So.
Yeah, but I don't think that's probably not related to the engine. It's more of a tyre or a floor thing. Yeah. So, interesting race for them. And then what? McLaren 8-9.
Yeah.
Again, Ricciardo needs big points to transform his season.
Yeah.
The wine of Lando, we've discussed that. And then Ocon round out the points, I believe. P10, got another one for him. Yeah. So look at the championship then. Ricciardo now down to 13th. I think that's an interesting thing to highlight. Seb's now only 2 points behind him.
And Seb missed the first 2 races.
Yeah, that is mental actually when you think about it. So he's missed a lot of running in these new cars as well. Yeah. Anyway, we'll go for the championship order. Latifi, Schumacher, nothing. Zhou, only 1 point, but that's so unfair. He should be on 3 after this.
He's had 2 P11s, P9 today. If you've got a feel for him, also he had to retire from... was it Australia or Spain? Or both?
I think both, probably.
I think it was both. That's now...
Yeah, since the first round, Zhou Guanyu's been so unlucky. Yeah. Lance Stroll, MP17, he's just not had no pace. Albon dragging that Williams up into some decent points, but...
That point at Australia...
They had nothing today, Williams. Yuki Tsunoda has had a really solid season, and the only reason he's now below Gasly is because Gasly didn't have a crack in his rear wing today.
Yeah.
If not, Yuki would have been just a place behind him and still ahead of him on points. But Yuki's now dropped behind a load of people because of just misfortune here. Because Vettel ahead of him got points today. He's now 14th on 13 points. Ricciardo got points today.
Yeah.
Which is 4 points. They were level on points going into this weekend. But yeah, he got 4 today, so he's now 13th on 15. Magnussen also on 15 is now 12th. Then it's Alonso who's really struggled. He jumped Yuki as well, I believe. Because
he got 6.
He got 6 points, so he was behind by a point. So another guy that jumped Yuki. And then Gasly as well. Obviously got 10 from this weekend.
Yeah. Which
now puts him from 6 to 16. And he's now P10 in the championship. A lot more of a solid... Right, what I've found though is that the guys in the back 10 don't seem to be they've all had a go at scoring points.
Yeah.
There's not been 12 drivers in it, 14 drivers in it. There's been 8 consistently up there, and then a load of people rotating. Well, not even 8, 4 consistently up there. Then the rest have rotated around and got points. But Gasly, it's a huge 15-point jump to Ocon in 9th. Another point from today. Bottas in 8th. Really struggled this weekend for some reason. I think maybe just conservative with the engine problems he saw for his for Ferrari teammates. He's on 40 points. Lando on 50 points, 7th now. Another 2 points. 2 points, And then Lewis 6th on 62. Only 12 points between him and Lando. Which...
I expect that to be high, to be honest. Especially watching McLaren at Bahrain.
Exactly,
Lewis got a podium.
And then 5th, Sainz. Again,
not great. He's had really tough.
Outperformed
mix of driver error and car unreliability. it's not gone well for Sainz.
Well, put it this way, 83 points. He is, 67 off Max Verstappen.
These 3 wins and Max 3 DNFs.
Yeah, that is insane, actually.
I think that shows, though, that's the difference in the championship, though. We saw it here, even before all the retirements, Carlos was still 3-4 seconds off the pace of Red Bull and Leclerc.
Yeah, didn't have that kind of pace.
We've seen it before with the Mercs and Verstappen. You cannot win on 1 on 2.
No.
It's impossible because
Like
you get
back the
beaten on strategy.
Albon days and early Perez days.
Yeah.
Russell P4 then on 99 points. He's now just 17 points off Charles in third, who most people thought, running away with it with this championship, isn't he? But been dragged back down. He's now 34 off Max.
Yeah.
Which is more than a race win ahead now for Max Verstappen.
It's huge.
Perez P2 on 129. He's now 21 behind championship leader Max Verstappen on 150.
Fantastic season from Sergio Perez.
Yeah, I do think though, if you take away one Max DNF, the championship's pretty much over by now. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at Checo's,
or add one to Checo.
Checo would have got,
because you have to take one.
The one in Bahrain, he'd have still got P3. Max would have got maybe a P1, a P2. Who knows? It's hard to tell because obviously you don't know how long that reliability has been affecting them for the race.
Yeah, constructors then, every team scored points. Williams, Aston, Haas, bottom 3. I don't think that's changed really. AlphaTauri 7th now. Some good points on the board. Starting to close up the gap to the top 6. Alfa Romeo now dropped down to 6th after Alpine's very, very solid weekend. Alpine in 5th now, 47 points there, 41 for Alfa Romeo. McLaren kind of just in a league of their own. They're not... to be fair, they could get caught by Alpine with a few more weekends like this. So, yeah, they're on 65 now, McLaren. Mercedes, very much in a league of their own, but not because they're miles out in front, but they are on 161.
George Russell is dragging that.
Which is 118 points off Red Bull.
Yeah.
Which is just unquantifiable. How they were fighting neck and neck for the championship last season, and now it's 118 points in the constructors' gap.
Wow.
Come round 8.
Or the max points you can get from a Grand Prix weekend.
43. No, that seems
too.
It's 44, I believe, for fastest lap.
26 and 18.
Yeah, 44.
44. So they'd have to do that 4 times, and Red Bull would have to do it. Both drivers have to not score.
No, 4 times would be 106. 3 times, I believe. Yeah, 3 times. So they need to, get a 1-2 finish 3 times with fastest lap.
Basically, miles off.
Yeah, Ferrari on 199 find themselves 80 points off Red Bull's 279.
That's a consistency. Like, take out everyone's DNFs. That's the difference between having Max and Perez and Sainz not being on the pace.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that, Red Bull have now got 1-2 in the drivers, lead the constructors. It's becoming a bit of a 2020 season. Though, I will say that Merc fans who are saying, this is the most boring season of Formula 1, when 2020, not a single... There was only 3 winners throughout the whole year. Like, we've only had 3 winners so far, but I do think we'll have a chaotic race every now and then.
Hungary or something.
Yeah.
I don't. There's still a lot to play for, though. Still a lot to play for. Obviously, Max was leading by, a good 30 points last year.
I still think Sainz has to win a race at some point this year.
I don't see... If he does not win a race, I don't know how he stays in that Ferrari seat.
I hope they don't have an option to replace him, that's why.
Antonio Giovinazzi. He's genuinely he'll be their next option.
I don't think he is. I think they'd try and get Pierre Gasly.
Yeah.
If they didn't have Carlos.
I know there's no other options, but...
I think they keep him for next season and see what happens. Because they might as well. They've got no other... He might be amazing. I don't see any...
if
they had a Pierre Gasly in Alfa Romeo, it's an easy option, but they don't have a driver of that kind of calibre to come through from they're not going to bring Mick Schumacher through. He's not been good enough, and they don't have any other Ferrari youngsters in F1.
No.
Which I think is a mistake. They probably should have kept an Alfa Romeo seat.
Yeah.
But they let that go, and Alfa Romeo went and got Zhou, and
now Alpine have got a seat for Zhou.
Yeah. I mean that kind of helps them.
Yeah, I guess.
If they need driver.
Well, I'll be looking at it. If Piastri doesn't get himself a seat next season, he's not driving elsewhere, then Alpine will want Zhou to be another option.
Yeah, I think
Ollie Calder was getting nowhere near that
there is no chance Piastri doesn't get a seat next season, because I don't see Haas keeping Mick at the moment. No,
I don't see. If Williams keep Latifi,
and I also
that is so much.
Don't see McLaren keeping Ricciardo.
No. Also, I'm so annoyed that Stroll will just always have a seat. That's boring.
So I think there will be movement in the grid, and I think if Alpine don't give Piastri a seat, and there's a seat spare at AlphaTauri, Dr. Helmut Marko might work his magic. Just a thought out there. Or if there's a seat open,
awesome.
Yeah, but if there's the option to get Piastri, or McLaren go and get him, rather than getting Gasly, that could be an option as well.
All right.
That's right. Oh yeah. For this, Again, another podium for Russell today. There's only 6 drivers that've been on the podium. 7 drivers, sorry, that've been on the podium. Leclerc, Sainz, Hamilton, Russell, Verstappen, Perez, and Lando Norris.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll see anything different in Canada? Well, make sure predictions for Canada Grand Prix will be out on Friday. So make sure to look out for that. We've got 4. Not 4 series at Canada. There's only one, isn't there?
Yeah, it's only one.
It's only Formula 1.
We got 2 weeks after that though. Yeah. In Britain, we've got all 4 top series of motorsports.
Yes.
Going to
all of the single seater Formula 1, 2, 3, and W series. So make sure to get excited for that. But Canada up next. Will be interesting to see who has the pace there. We've not been there since 2019. It's had 2 years off the calendar. I think it's a track we've missed. I really like Canada. Yeah, hopefully Seb wins it from Lewis Hamilton and swaps the things around. If that was to happen, that would be brilliant.
Yeah.
Because, it wouldn't really have an effect on the championship. But, that's happened. What on earth has gone on at Turn 1 between the Ferraris and the Red Bulls? Who knows? Anyway, that's about all for this weekend roundup. Make sure to look out for our Canada predictions on Friday, as we've mentioned. Make sure to get involved in the comments down below. What did you think of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix? Do you think it's still a really good track? What would you rate the race? I thought it was quite a boring race overall, especially by Baku standards.
Much more interesting if the Ferraris were still in it.
Yeah, and even if Sainz hadn't been there, even if Sainz wasn't on the pace of the top guys, maybe he'd got involved with the Mercs. Without the VSC, I think there would have been more variation with when people pitted, more strategy calls. So maybe without Ferrari ruining everything by being shit.
Making F1 boring.
Wow, get them gone. That's about it.
Bring back rich energy.
Get involved in the comments. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.